Mr. Speaker, sir, Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable members of Parliament, I rise today in full support of the 2026-2027 National Budget, and in particular, the allocation provided to the Ministry of Health and Medical Services. At the outset, I congratulate the Honourable Minister for Finance, Commerce and Business Development for presenting a budget that reflects both prudent fiscal management and a strong commitment to improving the well-being of the people of Fiji. The theme of this year's budget, a reasonable budget for a sustainable future, recognizes the realities of today's global and domestic economic environment while reaffirming government's commitment to protecting essential public services and investing in Fiji's long-term prosperity. For the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, however, a budget is measured by much more than financial allocations. It is measured by the lives it protects, the illnesses it prevents, the confidence it gives to families seeking care, and the reassurance it provides that quality health care will be available whenever it is needed. That, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the true measure of this budget. Health is not simply another government service. It is the foundation upon which national development is built. Without a healthy population, our ambitions for economic growth, education, tourism, agriculture, and national prosperity cannot be realized. A healthy child learns better. A healthy worker is more productive, and a healthy mother strengthens her family. Healthy communities create a stronger economy. Investment in health is therefore not merely expenditure, it is one of the most important investments any government can make. Speakers, in responding to today's challenges around the world, health systems continue to face significant pressures. Health costs continue to rise. Technology continues to advance, especially services are increasingly demanded. Populations are aging, non-communicable diseases remain prevalent, and new infectious diseases continue to emerge. Fiji faces those same realities. Every day, our hospitals, health centers, and nursing stations respond to growing demand for emergency care, surgery, maternal and child health, mental health services, rehabilitation, communicable disease, and chronic illnesses. These challenges require careful planning, responsible leadership, and sustained investment. Government has made a deliberate choice. Rather than reducing essential services, it has chosen to protect healthcare while maintaining sound fiscal management. Fiscal discipline does not mean reducing services. It means ensuring every dollar entrusted to government delivers the greatest benefit to our people. Responsible stewardship and quality health care are complementary responsibilities. Strong financial management enables continued investments in hospitals, medicines, infrastructures, technology, and our workforce. And this budget reflects that commitment. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite ongoing fiscal pressures, government has once again demonstrated that health remains one of its top priorities. The health sector receives a total allocation of 647 million, including 477 million directly for the Ministry of Health and Medical Services. This investment supports our healthcare workforce, funds medicines and vaccines, maintains hospitals, strengthens medical equipment, and improves healthcare services throughout Fiji. Importantly, this budget is not only about maintaining existing services, it is about preparing for Fiji's health system in the future. Among the major initiatives funded are the Pacific Healthy Islands Transformation Project, Fiji's first radiotherapy and cancer treatment center, expansion of acute care services at the Colonial War Memorial Hospital, continued upgrading of primary health care facilities, and digital connectivity for at least 70 primary healthcare facilities. These are transformational investments. The Pacific Healthy Island Transformation Project will strengthen primary healthcare through a more integrated, people-centered model. Radiotherapy and Cancer Treatment Center represents a historic milestone, allowing many cancer patients to receive specialized treatment here in Fiji and close to their families. An expansion of acute care services at Sidam Hospital will strengthen emergency services and specialist care. Digital connectivity across primary healthcare facilities will improve communication, referrals, clinical decision-making, and the continuity of care. These investments are about much more than infrastructure. They represent hope for patients, confidence for families, stronger support for healthcare professionals, and a more resilient health system. Every improvement in procurement increases medicine availability. Every upgraded facility improves patient safety. Every investment in technology strengthens diagnosis and treatment. And every efficiency gain allows more resources to be directed to frontline healthcare. That is the value of responsible investment. Mr. Speaker, sir, before discussing further programs, I wish to recognize the Ministry's greatest strength. It is our people. Nearly 7,000 healthcare professionals and support staff serve Fiji every day. They work in hospitals, health centers, laboratories, pharmacies, operating theaters, ambulances, public health programs, and administrative offices. Many travel by road, boat, or on foot to reach remote and maritime communities. Together they form the backbone of Fiji's public health system. Today, I acknowledge our doctors, nurses, midwives, dentists, pharmacists, laboratory scientists, allied health professionals, community health workers, environmental health officers, ambulance officers, biomedical engineers, administrators, drivers, cleaners, security officers, and every member of the Ministry's family. To each of you, I extend the government's sincere appreciation. Thank you for your professionalism, thank you for your resilience, and thank you for your compassion. And above all, thank you for your unwavering commitment to serving the people of Fiji. Many of you work long hours under difficult conditions and spend time away from your own family so that you may care for others. Recently, healthcare workers, emergency responders, and aviation partners successfully coordinated the emergency evacuation of a critically ill patient from Mother Island. Stories like these rarely make headlines, yet they occur every day throughout Fiji. They remind us that the strength of our health system lies not only in buildings and equipment, but in dedication of the people who serve within it. This budget is an investment in those people. In strengthening primary health care, Mr. Speaker, sir, primary health care remains the foundation of a strong, sustainable health system. It is where disease is prevented, families receive support, and healthier communities are built. Government therefore continues investment in health centers, nursing stations, maternal and child health services, school health programs, immunization, outreach clinics, and preventative healthcare initiatives. And every day, district medical officers, nurses, communities, health workers, and multidisciplinary teams deliver thousands of consultations throughout Fiji. Children continue receiving life-saving immunizations. Mothers receive antenatal and postnatal care. School health teams support the well-being of our students. Community outreach programs promote healthier lifestyles and early disease detection. These services rarely receive public attention, but they prevent illness, reduce hospital admissions, and save lives every day. Providing health care across Fiji Islands presents unique challenges. Many communities are remote and dependent on maritime transport. Yet geography must never determine the quality of health care a Fijian receives. Whether someone lives in Suva, Levuka, Kandavu, Rotuma, Lau lo mawiti uno levu o in the interior of iti levu, every citizen deserves equitable access to quality health care. And healthcare equity is not merely a policy objective. It is a national responsibility. Government therefore continues investing in modern infrastructure, staff accommodation, and upgraded facilities across Fiji. At the same time, significant investment continues in digital transformation. At least 70 primary healthcare facilities will become digitally connected. This will improve patient safety, communication, referrals, access to information, and clinical decision making. And digital health is not simply about computers. It is about delivering safer, faster, and more efficient care. And the Pacific Healthy Islands Transformation Project complements these reforms by strengthening prevention, improving service integration, supporting digital transformation, and empowering communities to become active partners in improving their own health. Mr. Speaker, sir, government does not work alone, and I acknowledge the continued support of our bilateral and multilateral partners, United Nations agencies, regional organizations, our civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, private sector, philanthropic foundations, donors, and visiting medical specialists. Their support for infrastructure, workforce development, specialized clinical services, digital health, and emergency response has strengthened healthcare throughout Fiji. And their partnership reflects shared confidence in Fiji's health sector and our common commitment to universal health coverage. The progress we continue to make is the result of government, communities, and development partners working together. By strengthening primary health care today, we reduce pressure on hospitals tomorrow. By investing in prevention today, we reduce the cost of illnesses tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, sir, while primary health care is our foundation, every Fijian must also have confidence that specialist care will be available whenever it is needed. This budget therefore continues to strengthen our hospitals and specialist services. One of the most significant investments in Fiji's first is the Radiotherapy and Cancer Treatment Center. For many years, cancer patients requiring radiotherapy have traveled overseas at great and emotional financial cost. For the first time, many patients will now receive treatment close to home, and the initial phase of the work will begin within this year. Government also continues expanding acute care capacity at Colonial War Memorial Hospital. These investments will improve emergency response, patient flow, specialist services, and the quality of care. Funding also continues for diagnostic imaging, biomedical engineering, laboratory medicine, and pharmaceutical services. Government has increased investment in medicines and medical supplies to strengthen procurement, improve supply chain resilience, and maintain a reliable access to essential medicines. The free medicine program continues ensuring eligible Fijians receive essential medicines without financial hardships. The Ministry also continues to reviewing health legislations to strengthen pharmaceutical regulations and patient safety. Mr. Speaker, sir, no investment in buildings or technologies can succeed without investment in people. The 2026-2027 budget funds 5,753 established positions, 1,244 government wage earners, supporting a workforce of 6,997 healthcare personnel. Provisions have also been made for recruitment into 312 additional vacant positions. Government also continues preparing the next generation of healthcare professions. This year, 380 graduate nurses and 121 medical graduates are expected to begin internship training, while 327 newly registered nurses will join the ministry after completing internship. The budget also supports recruitment of medical officers and continued investment in postgraduate medical education, specialist training, postgraduate midwifery, mental health nursing, and other priority disciplines. Every specialist trained today strengthens healthcare for thousands of patients tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, sir, government continues strengthening family health services. Maternal and child health, adolescent health, reproductive health, community outreach programs continue supporting healthier pregnancies, healthier children, and a stronger family. And mental health also remains a major priority. As more people seek assistance, government continues strengthening workforce capability and community-based mental health services. Mr. Speaker, sir, one of Fiji's greatest public health challenges remains HIV. In 2025 alone, Fiji recorded more than 2,000 new HIV diagnoses. Government has responded by strengthening national coordination, expanding prevention programs, increasing access to testing and treatment, strengthening the workforce, and working closely with the development partners and communities. Treatment has become increasingly decentralized, while procurement systems continue improving access to medicines. Although encouraging progress has been made, HIV continues affecting families and our young people. It is therefore not only a health issue, but a social, economic, and a national development challenge. The investments contained in this budget strengthens prevention, testing, treatment, and workforce capability. Working together, we can reverse the trajectory of this epidemic and protect future generations of this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, healthcare is ultimately about people. And behind every budget allocation is a patient waiting for treatment, a mother preparing to give birth, a child receiving an immunization, a family hoping for a good news, a healthcare worker beginning another long shift. That is why every investment matters, and every budget reflects government priorities. This budget demonstrates that even during fiscal discipline, government remains committed to protecting the health and the well-being of every Fijian. The ministry fully recognizes its responsibility to ensure every dollar entrusted to us is managed responsibly, transparently, and efficiently. And good governance and accountability remain central to everything that we do. The progress achieved is not government's work alone. It reflects the dedication of our healthcare workforce, the trust of the people that we serve, and the enduring support of our many partners. Health is not merely an outcome of development. It is an enabler of development. And every investment in health strengthens education, productivity, economic growth, and national resilience. Mr. Speaker, sir, the true measure of this budget will not be found solely in the financial estimates before this House. It will be found in healthier children entering our classrooms. It will be found in safer pregnancies and healthy births. It will be found in patients receiving timely treatment closer to home. It will be found in stronger communities. And it will be found in healthier, more productive, and more resilient Fiji. This budget protects the essential health services our people rely upon today, while laying the foundations for a stronger, more modern, and more resilient health system for tomorrow. It's not simply an investment in the Ministry of Health and Medical Services. It is an investment in every Fijian family, every community, and the future health security of our nation. And for these reasons, I commend the 2026-2027 national budget to this Honourable House. Mr. Speaker.